know what I want to talk about today.
You were too excited. It's like,
before we get into today's episode, let's just grab some wine.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna need it for this one.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
So good. I wanted to talk about relationships in dating and marriage.
Yes. Okay.
And dating.
All right, let's go. Listen, I don't know why I get so giddy when we start going on this topic.
I know.
Yes.
It's a fun topic to explore.
It is a fun topic to explore.
So let's start with you.
Oh, okay, sure.
You are recently, dating, but not dating, but open to the idea now.
Recently open to the idea. Yes,
right,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah, for a while. For those who don't know my story,
tell them
quickly. I was married, divorced, and then I decided to, after I was got a divorce, to just really work through my issues, right, and kind of heal, give myself some time, and
take what you learned,
and kind of that turned into like a very long time. I got kind of content.
10 years. 10 years.
I was like, hey, this is fine. I'm fine.
I would like to focus on myself for 10 years. Good for you.
You gotta get to a place where you're like, oh, okay. And then I finally, when I was ready to start dating, it's so different now than before.
Girl.
Do I sign up?
Left all the time?
You said what? Yeah, I'm like, no.
Left? Right.
I attempted to do that, and I was like, who are these people? This is like exactly what, you tell your kids not to do.
I know.
Let's go meet a stranger out for dinner or on the internet.
It's a big no.
And I feel like I really would like it to be more organic. I would like it to be that someone knows that person and can vouch that they're...
That's true, though.
That they're
background a little bit.
A little bit of background, that they're really who they say they are, at least.
Yeah.
That there's some safety.
In this world,
in that.
Yeah.
So it's just different. And then, the pandemic happened and you can't go out necessarily.
Yeah.
And everything socially is a little bit awkward right now. Even though we don't have masks, anymore. I think everyone is still a little bit cautious. So it's just where do you meet people? How?
Well, not at a bar.
But just even at events. And I feel like people are not as open as they were before. So where do you, how do you do that?
Do you feel like that? You just said something. Do you feel, okay, you said some people are not as open. Do you, or truthful in that matter? Do you think that it's because I'm sorry, I'm getting all tongue twisted here. Because of the industry we're in? Is that something that comes with your dating experiences? These people aren't really, it's always a front. It's always some kind of portrayal that they need to do.
Maybe.
They're not really themselves.
Maybe that's what it is.
Hiding behind, social media.
Yes. I mean, that could be.
It could be.
You mean having a mask on?
Well, yeah. You were saying that you don't really know. People aren't always
right.
The truth themselves.
To be honest, a lot of people, I think maybe the way I present myself, people assume that I'm not single. So I don't get approached as much as, we've had these conversations.
Yeah, but about you, I do get that a lot. Is your friend single? I'm like,
yeah. And I'm like, there is no ring on this.
Yeah.
and so I think that's something that, I don't know. I don't know why that is, but it's just a bit different. And then there are standards, now dating, it's,
what do you want in a guy?
Okay. What do I want?
You're talking about standards here. What do you want in a guy?
Well, what do I want in a guy?
What should anyone out there? No red flags.
No red flags. I think at this point in my life, I want I want a guy who they say they are. I want a guy who's living in their truth, who's secure in themselves, and they have the most important, they have a relationship with God. Because I think without that sense of accountability, their own accountability to God, not anyone is making them, not just going to church, like a real relationship.
And that's
right?
your number one.
That is like my number one thing because that's really important to me.
Yeah.
And I think that, especially how I believe a relationship is supposed to be set up. You know, I believe that the man is supposed to be the head of the household. So I want a strong leader in that sense.
Feel safe.
Yeah, I want to feel safe. And so that's sometimes that's been a challenge.
It's been a challenge. Okay. Humor or looks? Or is it a combination of both?
I think I definitely want to laugh.
Yeah.
I definitely humor over looks any day because I think you're really like after the looks fade, you're with that person. Is that person going to make you laugh? Like, do you enjoy being with that person morning, noon, and night? You know, and so I think that's like the personality has always been the person and who the person is more important to me than the outside. Obviously, I take care of myself. Right. So I expect someone, to take care of themselves and that, but I don't place as much importance on that as I did when I was younger.
Isn't that funny?
When I was younger, I think I had it flip-flopped. Yeah. And then I became bored. Exactly. I was like, and then after all of that fizzles off, then you're just left with the person and you're like, yeah, I don't really like you.
Cute guys. And I'm like, that's a nice body, but I bet you're really difficult.
Yes.
You know, like
exactly.
Yeah, you look good, but it's not worth it.
No, it's not worth it. And so I think even just going with dating, I've just been very cautious and really getting back out there because I do know what I want. And I think I've worked really hard on myself and I want something real and I'm not willing to settle for anything less than that. And if I see red flags, then I'm going to out here. I'm not going to stay around for too many red flags. And then
too many red flags. So you're willing to have one?
No, we're getting better.
Getting better. We're getting better.
Progress.
Step by step.
Step by step. No, but in all seriousness, it's just like, it's learning. I think I wouldn't recommend someone going 10 years without dating and then trying. I don't know how I did that either. It's just, I just was so focused on my daughter and so focused on myself. And then it just turned into all this time.
A lot has happened in 10 years.
A lot has happened in 10 years.
You know?
Yeah.
The dating pool is
totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole swiping left or right. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what you do on it, but yeah. I think you're right. Finding a person now would be like your immediate tribe.
Right.
Saying, hey, I really think you should meet this person. Because at this point in your life, you're like, I need to know who they are. And I don't have time for a background check. So it's up to my friends to do that for me.
Exactly.
Especially with kids. Oh, yeah. What about kids?
So
a guy with kids?
I actually think that's a great thing because being a mom is so important to me. Mm-hmm. I think it would be really hard to date someone that doesn't have kids. Yeah. And them not understand that your kids come first and maybe you have to move things around. I can't see you this time or, and so someone who has that same sort of priority and then you get to actually see them as a father.
True.
So
that's nice.
That's really nice. And even though my daughter has her father in her life, you still want to see what type of, father that they would be. Yeah. So I think that's actually a good thing.
That's a good thing. I agree. I mean, just to see, and I don't know, what about children in the future for you? Yes. Yeah. Up for anything?
I mean, I think, I think that's like the great thing. I have Bella and, I would be open to having another child, but it's like it's almost over.
You're almost over. You're like, this is great.
I'm like, to start over again. I'm like,
But
she's
you're
so
not against
independent. I'm not against
So if you
it.
found someone.
Yeah. But I think I think the beauty in dating, and probably why I've taken so long, is that I'm not in a rush
that's a beautiful thing.
marry someone or to find someone because I want to have kids. I feel like I already have my daughter and I love her, but I really want a partner. I really want the right person for me. And I
think that's what we're, a lot of, I wish we could just, I mean, I will be speaking to, my daughter about this when she's at a certain age, but I do it now, but having a partner versus a boyfriend, a husband, you can have a husband and not have a partner.
That's very true.
Right. And so to learn that early, I mean, relationships it's both ways here,
right? And I admire your marriage so much. You guys have been married for 20 years.
20 years.
That is amazing.
I know.
Like,
it's been rough. No, I'm just joking. It hasn't been rough. It's been easy. I've been extremely blessed.
Yes. And you guys are like best friends. And that's what I think.
I hate them and I love them. Drives me nuts. Yes. I love them.
You guys are like a comedy show. It's hilarious.
Yes. 20 years. Met when we were 14, married when we were 19, and haven't looked back. I think we've been blessed to grow together. And it's not always the case for people. And I need people to understand, like, that's not your fault that you grow apart. That's just a part of living. At every different stage in your life, you don't know where it is. And if you seem to grow with your partner in that direction, that's fantastic. I've been blessed enough. I'm not to say that won't happen in the next 5 years.
Right.
But so far in the last 20 years, I've been blessed to grow in the same path as my husband.
Yes.
And I wish and pray that it would continue that way. I don't know, but so far it has. And I've been very blessed.
How important do you think your faith is in your marriage? You think that has anything to do with your, like, being rooted in, like, because, it is, I've seen a lot of relationships and fail. Really, that's what it is. They're really growing apart, or one person wasn't willing to do the work necessary and they just thought they should just stay the same. And then the other partner, and so what is it? I mean, would you say that faith is?
Yeah, I think faith has a huge part of it. And my ego, right?
Ego.
Yeah, and let me explain, because like I'm not going to let this fail. That's my ego. Like, I'd be damned. Like, divorce isn't an option here. I mean, yes. In many cases, I'm not to make that light of any other person's situation, but we gonna make this work. No, marriage is not easy, and we have had our ups and downs and our valleys and our chapters that are horrible. But we have gotten through it through communication. It's huge. I think communication comes before love. It comes before all that, because with communication comes that understanding. And when you understand someone, you communicate with them, you have a deeper love for them. My husband, he's a guy. He's a guy's guy. And they don't communicate, and guys aren't, to their fault, they're not raised to communicate their feelings. That's just not how they're raised. So I forced my husband to communicate. Like, you're quiet. Talk. I'm fine. Nope. Talk. What's bothering you? What's going on?
Right.
I need to know these things, because now that we have children, I don't want them to see daddy in a certain state mentally, and then mommy not being able to get him out of it, or just live what my children know is the norm,
right?
And my children pick up now. My daughter's almost 13, but if daddy's in a mood, she'll just walk in. She's like, oh, he's in a mood. Like, he's not himself. She'll know right away.
Wow.
She knows, like, hands down. My son does now too. But, it's really communication. That's been the key to our.
So it's communication and understanding like being willing to understand each other.
Willing.
And then, so what do you do if you don't agree? Like how?
I'm always right.
We're always right.
I'm always right.
Hello.
No, I'm always right. No, I'm just joking. But I mean, there's an understanding there of, there is always that slice of like, yeah, she's right. Because usually I am, and not to give me the pat on the shoulder, but, like my husband has a good way of sitting back and being quiet when I'm trying to tell him what the problem is, instead of like, no, this is the way it's supposed to work. He just sits back and lets it go. So he has a good way of sitting down and listening. So it's not that I'm always right. It's that he takes the time to understand why I feel the way I do. Which goes into communication. There's been times where we were like, you know what, it's been long enough. Are we gonna just end this? Like, you know, and then there's that spark that just happens again, where with communication comes like, this is why I fell in love with you. This is why I want to be here. So there is that. So like there are highs and lows. Marriage is hard because there's been many times in our marriage in 20 years that I've been like, I can leave.
Yeah. I'm sure.
You know, and he's been the same.
Yeah.
And you're comfortable with it. You're like, I can do this on my own. I could totally do this. But do you want to? I would rather spend the rest of my life with him, knowing who I am internally, knowing where I came from, him knowing what I want, him knowing every bit of me, versus trying to explain that to someone new, versus trying to date.
Yes, because you see how hard it is.
I feel for you. You know, I go out with my friends without him, and I'm just like, I don't know, you know, when I come home, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, but I am, who's to say in 10 years it's not the same? But right now, I've been extremely blessed for the last 20 years to have communication as.
That is beautiful.
Thanks.
Aw, you truly married your best friend.
I married my best friend.
Yeah.
I hate him. But I love him to death. No, but we bicker. We joke.
Yes. But you guys are really like partners.
We're partners.
So it's not, you know, you guys really support each other, and I really admire your marriage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do love it. Drives me nuts, and I drive him nuts. And he stays out of the spotlight. He's hidden. He doesn't want any of that.
So what do you think about that? Like, you know, with social media, I think that's so different of like, I see so many people put their relationship out there. Like, what do you think about putting your relationship out there for people? Like, do you think you should do that? Do you think people are weird if they don't do that? Like,
I think to a certain extent, I mean, I'm okay with like talking about my relationship, but like the world doesn't need to see it on a daily basis.
And what's your reason for that?
I don't.
Like everyone has their own. Like,
it's none of their business.
It's something that's private for you.
It's private to me. It's none of their business. I think that's it. It's none of their business.
Right.
My husband, he tells me like, I grabbed you before you knew you were smart enough, you know, like before you realized who I was. I'm like, dang it. I fell in love before I knew there was so much more out there, but there's really not. Like, he is the one. But it's just it's a piece of me that I don't think the world needs to know about, but I share enough of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you absolutely do.
Yeah. We have our ups and downs, and marriage is not easy. But they don't need to know the ins and the outs of it. Like our daily, you know, our monthly argument or whatever it may be.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's, you know, cause a lot of people put their whole relationship, their arguments, like everything out there. But then I also feel like, you know, do you put your relationship out there, you know, like you started dating this person, then you take the pictures down, then you start dating this person, then you take the pictures down, and then you start dating the pictures. I mean, it's different with you and you're married, but I just feel like I feel like that's weird. And I don't know if that's like old fashioned, but I think that's a little strange.
It's a little strange. But we both know people that are happy in their relationships and don't post anything about it.
Yes. And
They're
I feel
very
like
happy.
I feel like those relationships, marriages are the longest lasting relationships. And I think there's something that's what I've learned that, you know, once you put your relationship out there, you give it room, you give it the opportunity for people to judge it, to attack it, to have all these things to say about it when it's really none of their business.
None of their business.
But you put it out there on display for people to do that. So you can't also then take like, oh, I will only want the good things that you're going to say about it and not all because you made it public.
Because you made it public.
So I think that's something that I take into consideration with now, like dating, which was different than before. To be selective about what I am putting out there or like, you know, what I'm going to, tell people because that's, you know, I feel like that gives room for people to just tear it down and destroy it.
Down. And tearing that down can tear you down. Too.
Yeah.
Like, and what am I doing? Should I be with someone else? Should I date someone else? Should I be married to someone else?
Yeah. And I just think that it throws complications in there because now, I mean, where there is free speech. I mean, you can't say certain things, but you can literally say anything you want to about a person. You know, you can say that person was over here and they really weren't over there. And so when you open your relationship up like that, then you give room for someone to say something about you that really wasn't true, to start something in your relationship. So I've just been thinking about all these things.
Well, and here's another thing that you just brought up too, about like, oh, that person was there and this person was there. We've both been in the entertainment business for a while. I've been kind of pretty more under the radar than you. I have been out to dinner with celebrity friends that are male without my husband because they're my friends.
Right.
People back in the day used to comment, read tabloids and comment like I was screwing this guy or I was doing this. I'm like, but if my husband or boyfriend wasn't in the state of mind or the comfortability and confidence that they were in, would take that to another extreme in our relationship where I'm blessed that my husband's like, go out with your friend, like have fun. He's not one to go out all the time. He goes out, you know him.
Yeah.
But not all the time. So he's like, yeah, go have fun. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
Right. I love that about my husband, that he can be like, go out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's healthy.
It's so healthy, you know? And I know some people don't agree with that, but my husband's like, go have fun. He's your friend. You know, I don't want to go out tonight. Go have fun. And I've done it. My husband has female friends that he's gone out to dinner with or lunch with or met for coffee. And I'm like, tell him I said hi, you know, hey, you know, I just don't feel like going out every time that he wants to go out. And it's okay. No, we're not swingers. we have a mature relationship with each other that we both have friends of the opposite sex, many.
Yes.
And there's some that you feel comfortable with going out to dinner with.
Right.
So I don't have that. That's another part, the jealousy thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are both healthy individuals.
Yes.
And I think that's more of the important part of that part. Like you guys are very healthy as far as you're secure in yourselves. And so there is none of that. There's that. You know, feeling jealous or feeling like insecure. Right. It doesn't bring anything out because you trust each other and
doesn't bring it. So when you said like, you know, this saying something, oh, you were out with who? That's never been an issue because it's happened. And we've both laughed it off. That and the person I've gone out to dinner with. Yes. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me here.
Well, I've definitely been in relationships where this has been a problem.
That's the jealousy. Isn't that a huge turnoff?
It
like,
is.
I'm disgusted by it.
It's like, I'm really turned off by it. I mean, but it seems like, I've had a couple of situations where, that has been the case. And it's really challenging because I'm a very social person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a very friendly person.
You dance with anyone on the dance floor. You're having fun.
Talk to everyone. Yep. I just love people. And so that often has not brought out the best in people in relationships, as you know.
But isn't that a good thing?
It is, but it's also frustrating because, I'm like, okay, so
you're like, I went out with this great guy. He didn't want to dance, so I danced, and then there was a problem.
Yes.
Well,
yeah. So so then it's really great to see a healthy marriage like you, which I'm really thankful God has placed you guys in my life to be able to see, oh, okay, that's not how this is supposed. It can be this way. So just have to keep on, keep on going.
What's a major no for you in a relationship?
Other than cigarettes,
like huge no.
Huge no.
Huge no.
Huge no. Cigarettes. They cannot. The faith part is very important. Like they cannot be an atheist or like anything. Like because that's just the way I live my life. But insecurity, I think that like
going
person
back to jealousy.
Yeah, because you have to be secure, and especially being in the entertainment industry, they're
making out with different guys.
Yeah, like being an actress.
I know.
You have to be secure with the person I'm with has to be secure in themselves because that's just, I don't have a normal job. So you have to have that, be secure in yourself and be able to handle that. And so that is a huge turnoff for me.
Yeah. What is your perfect date?
Ooh,
I want to know. If someone were to ask you out right now,
okay,
what would your perfect date be?
My perfect date.
Oh, think about this for a second. Because mine would just be sleep and just take the kids out the house.
Well, that's completely different.
I know. This is different. Married, single. This is what I'm dreaming.
Wait, what's your perfect date?
Take the kids out of the house. Give me just time by myself.
Oh my goodness. Wait, that's
sometimes just chilling by yourself.
Yeah.
It's just
okay. All right.
Recharging, just a nice bubble bath, wine, quiet.
Yes.
Kids come home, fed, straight to bed.
Ooh. Yeah, sexy.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, if it were with my husband, a good
I know what you
champagne lunch.
Yes.
I love museums. I love museums. I love
really
history.
Nice.
So that would be nice. Like a full day of something.
I think like a day date would be really amazing. I don't know if I've ever gone on like a full day date, but like something at the beach. I love the beach.
Paradise Cove.
Yeah, something at the beach. And dinner by the beach.
Like a full day.
Yeah, like a full day.
A full day date.
And I love activities. Like I know I love museums too, but I would love to do an activity. And I think you learn a lot about a person.
Hiking?
Like doing an activity, or whether it's like, I don't know, those bikes, like what is it?
Oh, an ATV? Oh, you were wild.
Or just something like adventurous.
I don't like dirt.
You don't like dirt. You don't like
I'm a very active person, but I don't like dirt.
Dirt. But I think doing something like that I love dinners. I love nice dinners. I love to eat. I eat on my own.
Foodies.
But
I think we're foodies.
Yeah, but I would love, I think you find out a lot about a person doing something active like that.
Yeah, not just a movie and a dinner.
Right, because then you can kind of put on. You can kind of lay it on and, but when you're put in these situations where it might be hard or it might be tough, it's like, well, how does he handle that? Yeah.
How is he going to act when I make him climb so-and-so? I don't know. You should do an escape room.
An escape room. Like, that would be so fun to me.
You should.
So I guess
I
guess my perfect date would be like
something fun
active.
Like
that and active.
All day.
Figured it out.
That's what it's going to be.
I figured it out.
I expect your next date to be that.
So one thing I want to ask, what would you say is something that women should work on before they get married about themselves? Now being married 20 years, like what is something that you think would be beneficial like an area or just anything or like what do you think would be important to work on?
You know what? I mean, we said this before, but communication. And I know a lot of women, including myself, I think that's just how it's cool. You go out with your boys. I'm fine. You know?
Yeah.
Really say it. Really don't play games. And I'm glad I learned that early.
Like really express why, like that you're not fine with that.
Yeah, like front. I'm not fine. And not meaning like, because I'm such I really am not a jealous person. Like I really could give a flying crap about what, you know, because I just know I trust my husband. But like if there was something that was bothering you, like if he was like, hey, I'm going out with the boys, and you're like, okay, fine, whatever. Okay. Why? Like learn express why that would bother you. You know, there's been times where that has come up and I've caught myself. I'm like, hold on, why am I not okay with that? Because I always let him out. I shouldn't say let him out like a dog. Like, you know, I always let him go out and hang out with his boys. But maybe it's a person who's going to be in that group that night that I'm like, I'm not comfortable with you and the way this person lives their life. There was an instance where my husband worked for a company and, they were very explorative with their marital status. And, and I learned about it and, you know, that's their business. So I left it at bay and, but the jokes and what they would do outside of work, away from their wives were not okay with me. And I expressed that to my husband and I saw my husband's behavior or jokes change. I'm like, that's not you. I don't like it. So, I expressed that immediately right away. And yeah, my husband was like, I'm getting a new job. I didn't ask him to do that. He didn't need to do that. But I think his way of saying, I can't stick in this because this is not leading me into the direction I want to live my life. Yeah. So I think if you are, as a woman, if you explain what you want and not like, I know they say call us nags, but it's not being nagging. It's just knowing we're smarter than men as far as seeing what the future and what our husbands and men and our boyfriends really have the potential of being. If we express that and let them know in that nurturing, like, really uplifting way. I think that helps a lot in a relationship. And just, you know, not the nagging, like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. Like,
no, honey, but just coming from an honest and truthful place.
Exactly. Like, honey, you're better than this, honey. You are, you deserve, you can do, if you express and just share those real, don't mute your actual feelings. Like let them feel. That's what I would give to any woman coming into the marriage life. Or
that's good advice.
Yeah,
I think I learned my whole 10-year experience.
Dating. But no, you weren't even dating in those 10 years.
No, I wasn't dating in those 10 years. But I think when I went on that journey to really figuring out to healing, which I think everyone should after a relationship, after marriage, no matter how long it is. I don't think that the answer is to like jump into another relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you jump into another relationship and those problems that the reason why that relationship didn't work out is still there. And then you also have the hurts and whatever went on with that. And now you're bringing that into another relationship. So in my self-discovery, I realized, wow, like I'm really pretty messed up. Like I had a lot of issues with my dad, with my mom, and I needed to work on those things before I could be, before I wanted to be in a relationship again. And I wanted to attract the right person.
Well, can I pause you for a second? That brings up a good point because, people can, like, let's just say an abusive relationship or abusive marriage. People walk away thinking like, oh, it was all them, right? Oh, they hit me, they abused me. But not to put the blame on the victim at all. Not at all. But I'm saying there's personality or something within them that maybe allowed it or kept them there because of fear. And if they get through like, I'm stronger than that, I can do better than that. Going into a new relationship that can it will help them.
Exactly.
So yeah, so knowing your worth, learning who you are after pulling yourself away from any situation.
Right. And then I think it's like you're saying, it's no matter whose fault it was in the relationship.
It can be 100%.
It could be 100% their fault or whatever it is, but you still have a part to play, and it's about
whether you stayed for the kids or something.
Right, but it's still you have a part to play in that relationship, and the part that you can play in really healing is taking accountability.
Right, like I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, and then why did I do that? And so it's
in learning what made them make you stay or made them make you feel a certain way.
Yeah,
you're not going to carry that on.
Yeah, what made you like take that for so long, or what made you know, and what is it that you need to change in order to move forward, in order to be healthier? So that's the part in taking accountability and not staying in like a victim mindset.
Right,
like they did this to me.
Fault. Exactly.
This is, you know, it's all of them. No, it's not always all of them. It's like, you know, we all have a part to play in everything.
We all have a part, unfortunately.
And I think that's when you take your power back from a situation.
I love seeing that in people.
It's like you take your power back by taking accountability and then working on yourself.
I love it.
And saying, okay, well, this is how I'm going to move forward. I'm going to heal. I'm going to do this. I'm going to accept that. Yeah,
this is what I don't want.
This is why this happened. And we're going to grow from that.
I love it. Yeah. No, for sure. That's where you are right now?
That's where I'm at right now.
That's where you're at. That's where you're going?
That's where I'm going.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So, okay. So in the near future, dating life, where do you see yourself? Or married life, where do you see yourself?
I mean, yeah.
Knowing what you know now and all that.
Well, I would love to get married again. I think that I always had, I want a partner. I don't want just a marriage. I want a partner in life, and I want to grow together. And yeah, I want my purpose mate.
Yeah. Well, your purpose is being made.
Yes.
It is. It's getting there. I see the chapters being written.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
I love you. You're so encouraging.
But I do see it. Like when I talk to you and I'm like, it's chapter's almost over.
Oh, thank you.
It's almost over. Like,
yes, but we're good. You know, I think it's important to find contentment in yourself and loving yourself. And in loving yourself, you treat other people how to love you. And so I think that's been really important to me to not only show that to myself, but to my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't need someone to make me, I don't need to be in a relationship to make me happy.
Right.
I don't need to be in a relationship just to say I'm in a relationship. Right. You know, I'm content and I'm happy by myself until the right person comes that's for me, and I'm not going to settle for less. And I think that's really important to demonstrate to being a mom, because she's watching me, and ultimately I don't want her to settle in life. I don't want her to just want to be with someone just.
But it's so important you said that, because one person can't make you happy.
No.
Right? You have to be happy, and then you can search for that bonus.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And if you're not happy, no one's going to make you happy. I mean, really, you can have, it's so much deeper than like, if I could just find the perfect man. Well, first of all,
no one's going to be perfect.
Oh God, no.
So you set yourself up for failure when you think someone's going to be perfect. So that's why it's really important to work on you and being content, loving yourself, knowing how to be, you know, with yourself, your thoughts, you know. And a lot of people aren't willing to take the time to do that.
If you can do that, I mean, it's so important. I just can't stress that enough. If you love yourself, I know that's so cliche, like love yourself, but you're trying to fill that void, but you got to feel it first on your own.
Yeah.
You have to, because no one's going to make you feel that, you know. You have to be confident. You have to love yourself. Because if you're not whole, how are you going to give your whole self to anyone else?
Exactly.
Right?
So that's where I'm at right now.
Gosh, 100% love yourself first.
Yes.
Then we'll move on to the dating. Woo, girl.
Oh,
Cheers.
Cheers.